Match 16 of the Big Bash features the Hobart Hurricanes and the Brisbane Heat. Let's build our fantasy team on my 11 Circle Fantasy Pick on ESPNcricinfo. I'm Ronu Kapoor and Mike Hussey is all set to join me. Right, these two teams find themselves at opposite ends of the points table in the early parts of the Big Bash. So this should be a good game for either side. Let's go into our pro tip before I get Huss's first thoughts. And we're saying that Brisbane Heat have not been consistent with bat, not just this season, but even last year. And with Chris Lynn injured, expect the Hurricanes bowlers to pick up a lot of wickets. So we recommend a Hurricanes bowler as a vice captain to help you get more points. Is that a fair tip, Huss, looking at the way the Brisbane Heat are batting?
Yeah, it's not a bad call, Ronak. It's a big loss, losing Chris Lynn with that hamstring injury before the last match. He's obviously their best batsman. And yeah, the Heat have been struggling. They've been struggling. They're desperate. They're going to be desperate for a win. Jimmy PEIRSON nearly got them over the line in their last game, when they looked dead and buried. But you're right, Hobart Hurricanes, they've been bowling extremely well. Someone like James Faulkner's been using the new ball really well, getting that late swing back into the right-handers. So he's been consistently picking up wickets. And Riley Meredith, he's been bowling extremely fast for Hobart as well, getting up around that 150 kilometres per hour mark. So they're pretty confident coming into this one.
Yeah, there's a good chance we'll get all of those guys into our team. Jimmy Faulkner, it's been a resurgence of Jimmy Faulkner this year's Big Bash. Let's see where we feature him in our team. Quick word on player availability for all of you playing fantasy. Chris Lynn, as Huss points out injured and will miss this game at least. There's also Lewis Gregory, who could be available though for the Brisbane Heat after completing quarantine. David Malan and Sandeep Lamichhane are supposed to be available for the Hobart Hurricanes after Christmas, but there's no official update yet on that at the time of recording. So do check in closer to the toss and confirm team news and player availability then. Quick reminder on the My 11 Circle Fantasy app, 100 credits for every user to build their fantasy team. 4 categories of players to choose from: batsmen, bowlers, wicket keepers, and all-rounders. Every player's individual credit value is listed on the app. You can pick a maximum of 7 players from one team in any given contest, and we'll throw in 4 substitute options for you as well. Let's go to our team. Our captain choice is going to be Ben McDermott from the Hobart Hurricanes. Now, his scores this season have been 46 of 33 and 89 not out of 55. He's been in some pretty good hitting form, and he's been scoring runs for Tasmania going into the Big Bash in the Sheffield Shield. Also managed 107 not out in the warm-up game against the Indians in different formats, but he's looking good as Ben McDermott. Vice captain choice, Jimmy Faulkner, as Mike Hussey points out, he's looking good, swinging the ball early on, and he is the joint leading wicket taker in the early parts of the tournament. He's taken 8 wickets in 4 games, economy of under 7. You take that as a fast bowler in T20. And you also know that Jimmy Faulkner can get you those extra points with bat if he gets the opportunity. Captains give you double the points and vice captains 1.5 times, so pick them carefully. We've gone for Ben McDermott and Jimmy Faulkner, both from the Hobart Hurricanes. Looking at our other top picks, Darcy Short's always a feature whenever the Hurricanes play. We know the kind of Big Bash record that he boasts of. And he's also managed an unbelievable 359 runs in 6 games against the Brisbane Heat. So he loves playing against Heat. 89.75 the average, strike rate of over 145, and his career best score of 122 all came against Brisbane Heat. Jack WILDERMUTH is there as well. So finally, someone features from Brisbane. One of the most improved players from last season. He is in devastating form this season too. 11 ball 31 with 4 sixes as well as 3 wickets. So points with bat and ball makes Jack WILDERMUTH a pretty handy top pick option. Jimmy PEIRSON's there, as Mike Hussey points out, did particularly well last time, but agonizingly ended up on the losing side. And we know there's a keeper, he could also get you some extra points. So you've got in our top picks, Ben McDermott as captain, James Faulkner as vice captain, Darcy Short, Jack WILDERMUTH and Jimmy PEIRSON as our top selections. Do you like the look of those, Huss?
Yeah, I don't mind them, Ronak. I think you've chosen well there. McDermott's been in great touch so far this season. In all forms of the game, as you mentioned. I think Darcy Short is due for a big one. He's been a little bit disappointing, I have to say, getting a number of low scores. So he loves playing against the Heat, as you mentioned. So expect him to put in a good performance. And, the Heat, well, they've got to find some big performers. I think Mujeeb, he's got to be due for a big performance as well. Someone like him's got to stand up for the Heat and at least make this game competitive.
I like it. Let's see if we can squeeze Mujib in and see if Huss would rather put him in for one of the bowling options that we've had. Let's go to some differential picks. Tim David features from the Hobart Hurricanes, the 24-year-old born in Singapore. Didn't quite enjoy much success last season with the Perth Scorchers, just 109 runs in 12 games, though the switch to the Hurricanes seems to have worked wonders for him. He's already gone past that total tally of last year, so 124 runs in 4 games at a striker of nearly 170 for Tim David. Tom Cooper is there as well for the Brisbane Heat. Now he's a veteran in Big Bash, you'd think, nearly 80 games for him, and didn't quite have the best of seasons last time out, but has looked in decent nick. And but for an umpiring howler, he could have got more points and more runs. Tim David and Tom Cooper in our differential picks. Our full team sees Jimmy Peirson as the keeper option. There's Tom Cooper, Tim David, Colin Ingram, and Ben McDermott, who's our captain choice. Jimmy Faulkner's our vice captain recommendation. Darcy Short, who Mike Hussey is backing to get big, so you could consider if you want Darcy Short as captain potentially. Jack Wildermuth, Scott Boland, Xavier Barlett, and Mark Steckedy are all featuring in our team. Substitutes bench sees Dan Lawrence, Mujibur Rahman, Riley Meredith, and Will Jacks. Now, Huss has already pointed out Meredith and Mujib are players he'd like to see in this team. Now, in our alternate scenarios, we're saying you could consider Mark Steckedy's place to bring either Sandeep Lamichhane or Riley Meredith in. And if David Malan is available, maybe he could come in for Colin Ingram. Let's see if Mike Hussey likes any of those changes. Any other recommendations, Huss?
Oh, well, yeah, it's a tough one, this one, to pick who you exactly want in your team. I think you made a good point earlier. You've got to make sure you check the team sheet just before the game, because we're not sure on the availability of some of these guys. I'd love to have someone like David Malan in my team. He's obviously I think he's ranked actually maybe up there one or two T20 player in the world. So he'll be looking to make an impact when he comes into the team. So if he's playing, I'd be getting him into the team. I like Riley Meredith as well, someone bowling that quick. Yes, they can go for the odd run, a few runs here or there, but they've got that ability to pick up wickets and score big points there. Mujib, I also really rate. He just hasn't seemed to done the job so far with the ball, but wasn't he exciting to watch batting the other night? And when he took on his countryman Rashid Khan and belted into all parts of the Gabba. So, you might be able to get a few extra points if he comes out and smashes a few at the end. So Mujib, I think he's due for a big performance too.
All right, Mike Hussey, thank you very much. There you have it. Mujibur Rahman, Riley Meredith. See if you can squeeze them into your teams. David Malan, check out on his availability. And we'll be back with plenty more expert opinion, tips, data, insight, whatever you need to help you build your fantasy teams on my 11th Circle Fantasy Pick on ESPNcricinfo right through the Big Bash League.